Hi everyone. So whether if you just joined this live stream or if you started watching since the beginning, I just want to take this time first to thank you so much for spending your time out during today to join our live stream and listen to some classical music and as well as some Chinese instrument music. So to introduce myself, my name is Strauss Shi, and I play the violin, as you can tell. And later, for the second half of the program, I'm going to play a Chinese instrument called erhu, which is basically a Chinese fiddle, but it only has 2 strings. So that'll be very different from the violin. Anyways, that's for the second half. Yeah, so thank you so much again for watching. The piece I just played is from the last movement of Bach C Major Sonata number 3 for solo violin. And first of all, I wanted to bring in some Bach today for you guys, for you all, because I feel like Bach, to us, to classical musicians, is such an important composer and a figure to us, basically kind of like our grandfather of Western music and our instruments. And first of all, I think it really suits our sunset, right, today. I think it's starting to go down, so we'll watch the sunset together. Okay. And also, to give a little background about myself, I was born in China, and I grew up in San Francisco, and I went to school at Juilliard for 4 years in my undergrad in New York, and I did my master's for 2 years at USC Thornton School of Music. And also, the reason why I chose to play this particular piece, the Bach, was I have such a personal connection with this piece, because this was the first piece that I started studying ever since quarantine began in March. So I'm kind of bringing it back home to share it with you guys, because it represents such a special, very special time for me, and I'm just so happy to be able to share it with you all today. The next piece I will be doing is a very, very different piece compared to the Bach. It's a piece called Meditation from the French opera Thais, and by the French composer Jules Massenet. And once I start playing the melody, I think you guys will recognize it right away, because it's such a well-known and famous tune. But basically, the backstory of this piece is that in the opera, Thais, which is the main character, she, at the end, well, I don't want to spoil it too much, but at the end of the opera, she has a very challenging decision, which is she has to choose to spend the rest of her life with one guy or this other guy, right? I'm going to be a little vague here because I don't want to spoil it too much, but basically she has a lot of trouble choosing between the guy, and so she's very frustrated. She's very passionate but very frustrated, and she's struggling a lot. So she goes on this journey, this meditation journey, to realize who she wants to be with for the rest of her life. And so in this piece, in the next piece, you'll hear how and what she's thinking. So hope you enjoy. This is Meditation. Yeah, wasn't that pretty? I'm talking about the sunset. But yeah, so that was meditation, and I just thought it's such an amazing piece to go with our scenery today. It's so beautiful today, and again, thank you so much for spending your time out through your day to enjoy some music with me today. So I have a quick story that I want to share with you guys. So back when I used to live in New York, while studying at Juilliard, I was part of a fellowship program at school. It was called the Gluck Fellowship Program, and for 2 years, me and some of my best friends, we would go probably twice a month to go out to probably the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and we would prepare a 60-minute programs for these patients and the communities around that area. And one of my favorite piece on the program for those was meditation, not because I have a solo in that part, but because every time that I would play it, I can instantly feel the feedbacks and the energy, and I could see the facial expressions on people's faces, and they would glow up. And I thought that was the most amazing experience for me, to see that. And I really learned that music does impact a lot of people. Sometimes, as a player, you don't feel it because we're thinking about how to produce it and practicing, but it's really such a joy to see face to face these people that they would just smile. And then so it's if you're an artist, or if you paint, if you play music, it doesn't matter professionally or I think the world right now, especially right now, we need you. And yeah, and today I'm doing my part to share my music with all of you. And thank you again for watching. It really means a lot to me. So just wanted to share that quick story. Okay, all right, so the next piece I'm going to do is very different. It's called, it's by Paganini, the Paganini Caprice #1. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Paganini, or I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Paganini, he was one of the greatest violinists ever to live. I think his fingers were probably 2, 3, 4 times longer than mine. I mean, my fingers aren't that long, but probably twice as long as mine, but they were very long, which meant that he was able to play crazy passages on the violin. And also, if you go to a concert today, if you're watching a violinist today and they play all the way up here in this register, in this part of the violin, that's most likely Paganini, something that he wrote. So anyways, one of his most famous work was his 24 caprices for solo violin. And I'm sure there's a very famous one, the last one, the 24th caprice, that I think you might have heard of. It goes like, so, and then, yeah, that's a very famous one. But today, I'm going to play for you guys the very first caprice that he wrote. This is the opening caprice of the 24. And by the way, each caprice from this work represents a specific violin technique. And the one I'm about to play, #1, features the ricochet. So this is Paganini Caprice #1. Yeah, so it's very different. It's very different from the two pieces I just played. It's very technical, but he's also written many great melodies, violin concertos, lots of great short pieces. So if you're interested, you can Google, you can YouTube Paganini violin. Okay. Okay, so now, as you guys may know, for the second half of this program, I'm doing my pieces on the traditional Chinese instrument erhu. But first, if you just joined this live stream or you've been watching it since the beginning, I just want to personally thank you. Although I don't see you face to face, I can definitely feel the energy from you guys. And really, thank you so much for spending your time. And also, the most important people that we should acknowledge is they're the frontline workers, who are the nurses, the doctors, our service workers, the people who are helping a lot of people. And I just want to acknowledge my thanks to them. And hopefully today I'm doing my part by sharing what I do best, which is to share music with all of you. And I also want to thank Discover LA, my friend Dustin and Bill for allowing me to share my music with all of you. Okay, so the fourth piece I'm going to play today is a very, very special piece that I brought to the program. First of all, the reason why is I've never heard this piece played ever live. I've never seen it played live. I've only discovered this piece through old recordings, through YouTube. But basically, this piece is called Sicilian by a composer named Paradis. And I just thought this piece would be so fitting for our sunset today, which you can see right now in the background. The sun is going down. Thank you so much for watching the sunset with me. This is very special. But yeah, so this piece, Sicilian, it was played a lot in the last era, during the golden age of violin performance with Jascha Heifetz, David Oistrakh, and even Gitlis. These are some of the masters on violin. And what they would do back then is, in a recital program, when they would play concerts, they would play lots of short show pieces or short pieces with amazing melodies. Whereas today, our tradition today, we tend to do a lot of solo Bach, like what you'd heard, and sonatas, and maybe even concerto, and probably one or two short pieces. So I wanted to bring that tradition back for you guys today. And also I prepared it just for this event today. So I'm so happy to share it with you guys. And yeah, this is Sicilian by Paradis. So that was the Sicilian by the composer Paradis. And one thing that I forgot to mention at first is that ever since I moved to LA, pre-pandemic, and I would, there was this one spot in LA that I would always visit. Many people think it might be, it's overcrowded, but I felt so much connection to this place. And this place is Griffith Park. I used to hike a lot, and every time I would hike somewhere, I'm always feeling very calm, right? So this piece is, for some reason, it's always playing in the back of my mind when I go on these hikes or kind of when I'm alone, because it's such a personal piece and has such an amazing melody, and I thought it'd be really interesting to share with you guys today. So yeah, so that was Sicilian, and the last piece I'm going to play on the violin is a very popular tune called Salute d'Amour by Elgar. And I'm sure I won't introduce too much of it because I think you'll know the tune. So this is Salute d'Amour. All right, so that was Salute d'Amour by Elgar, and that was the last piece I'm going to play today on the violin, and I'm going to switch over now to the erhu, and it's a very different instrument. My background with this instrument, the erhu, starts when I was really young, so as you can see, yeah, I have to play sitting down, and this is a Chinese fiddle with 2 strings, and it's tuned D and A, so the 2 middle strings of a violin. Only 2 strings. Something cool about this is that the bow is attached between the strings, so if you're ever learning this instrument, you won't have to be afraid that it won't ever fall because isn't that cool? Okay, I just wanted to share that. Okay. Okay. So the first piece I'm going to play is a very popular erhu piece. It's called horse racing. In Chinese, we call 赛马. And if you heard this instrument before, you'll probably most likely know what this piece is. It's about two horses racing to the finish line. So here it is, 赛马. All right, so that was horse racing by, in Chinese we call 赛马. And what you just heard at the very end of the piece, that was a horse call. And that's what's so cool about this instrument. There's so many interesting effects that we can do on this instrument, and same for the violin, but this is just a special feature on the erhu. So my background with this instrument is I started way before the violin. It's my kind of my home instrument, and I grew up with a family of musicians, and our kind of our family ensemble, we are called the Melody of China. And ever since I was young, I used to practice on this instrument a lot. Like every Sunday, Melody of China, we would have studio classes with a whole bunch of people, all playing Chinese instruments. So I basically, I was so privileged, I was so lucky to grow up with that kind of background, and it really shaped, it made me listen to the way I play violin very differently. So I think it's just a wonderful experience. So that was 赛马, and the next piece I would do is called, the next piece is called Ocean of Happiness. Actually, let's save that for number 3. So the next piece I'm going to do is called Jasmine Flower. In Chinese, we call 茉莉花, and it's a very, very famous and well-known traditional Chinese folk song. So I hope you enjoy. So that was Jasmine Flower, 茉莉花 on the erhu. And now for something very, very different. The next piece I'm going to do is called 喜洋洋. So in English, it means ocean of happiness. And this piece is a celebration piece with many instruments. You would hear this piece played by a huge ensemble because you would hear a lot during Chinese New Year, and you celebrate. You can celebrate. You basically celebrate with this piece. So this is 喜洋洋. Yeah, so that was 喜洋洋, Ocean of Happiness on the erhu. And like I mentioned before, actually the sun is setting right now. Thank you so much for, I'm not done yet, but thank you so much for spending your time with me today, for me allowing me to share my music and basically what I do the best, to kind of share this moment together and allow me to share the music with you. Okay, and playing Chinese instrument is really about community and having a very passionate community. So typically when you do hear Chinese music, we play them in a group setting. And we would have the yangqing, some of the other instruments that we do. Yangqing, we have the guzheng. Yangqing is the hammer dulcimer. Guzheng is the Chinese harp. And we have the erhu, what I'm playing right now. So, except today, I'm sharing just one instrument, one out of many instruments for you guys, which I think is so special. So, the next piece I'm going to do for you guys is called 紫竹调, and in English we call Purple Bamboo Melody. And a quick background story to this is this piece is a very famous, it's from a very famous Shanghai opera. It's a folk song from the Shanghai operas, and it basically represents the people during that time, kind of the young people falling in love and just being very carefree and young. And so it's a piece about the lives of the civilians in China, in Shanghai. So just wanted to share with you. So this is Purple Bamboo Melody, 紫竹调. So that was Purple Bamboo Melody, 紫竹调. And I really hope you guys are, for those of you that's never seen this instrument, I hope this is a great experience, first time seeing this instrument. And it's such a pleasure for me to be able to share, especially this instrument with y'all. And if you really like the erhu or any Chinese instruments, or if you're really interested, you can visit our Instagram. So at Melody of China, where you'll hear a lot more different pieces on different instruments and all of that if you're interested. And thank you guys for joining me today. And the last piece I'm going to do today is to get into the Christmas spirit. This is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, played on an erhu. Okay, so here we go. Yay! Okay, so that was my last piece for today, and really thank you so much if you stayed. If you're still watching, I'm sure many of you guys are, but I just want to say it's such an amazing. I had such a great time, especially being able to share and speak with you guys. Although I don't see many of you right now, but it really does mean a lot to me as a musician. Because that's our job, and I really love doing what I love to do. So if you're interested in listening to more of what I do, violin or erhu, you can follow my Instagram, which is Strauss, not Struss. Struss is spelled, I think, Strous. And I have a website. You can go to straussshi.com. I have lots of recordings that you can listen to on violin and erhu, and you also get a glimpse of Melody of China, actually. There's plenty of videos of Melody of China, the chamber ensemble, on YouTube. So if you just search that on YouTube, I think you'll find a lot of great videos. So thank you so much. I want to take this time to thank all my friends for supporting me, and those of you who are watching, whether if you're from LA or if you're from elsewhere. LA, I think, is such an amazing place to make music and to study. And it's really changed who I am today. Because I studied in LA, and the memories here are incredible. The people, I love the people. I have so many. I'm so grateful for all the support, and thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for tomorrow, another live stream, and I'll actually be watching too tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.